Hello again, Lesage Renegade, back with you again. Wouldn't it be good if you could stay motivated throughout your personal growth journey as you were the first time you started? I know, right? It would be awesome if that would be the case. But unfortunately, what I've learned on my journey and what I keep on learning is that motivation alone doesn't take you the distance. You need something a little more than motivation. Motivation is important, but I need something a little more because you will not be motivated throughout the your journey and every single day. So maybe you're about to start your New Year's resolution. Maybe you're setting one up right now. So yeah, this video is for you. So keep watching. So what's the difference between motivation and discipline? Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. So motivation is like the fuel you use to start a campfire. Discipline is like the wood that keeps the campfire going. That's the main difference. And you want to use these two together in tandem to help you get to your goal, to help you achieve that New Year's resolution that you set out to achieve. So, how do you go about staying motivated? We're going to touch upon that in a minute. But let's touch upon the latter part and then we get back to motivation, which is let's touch upon discipline. What is discipline? Discipline is being able to show up even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is understanding that there will be days that you're not going to feel like showing up. There will be days that you will be like you will have to fight with everything you have to show up. But you show up anyways because you and only you know the reason why you're doing this. And that brings me to a very important key thing that will keep you disciplined is connecting to your why. If you know why you're doing what you're doing, no matter what it is that you're doing, your work, you're staying up late for that business, your gym, your diet, the thing that's going to carry you through, that's going to keep you disciplined, even when everything else around you is like, why are you doing this? Stop it, is connecting to that why. Use that to get you up in the morning. Crawl out of bed. You don't have to jump out of bed, crawl out of bed, but discipline will get you to show up and show up again and again and again. So remember, connect your why. Now that we've covered discipline and how to kind of stay disciplined, right? And this is only a small part of how to stay disciplined. There's many other aspects to this. Let's talk a little bit about motivation. Then how do you stay motivated, right? How do you maximize the days that you stay motivated? There are certain aspects. First of all, it's your goal setting, which we spoke about, right? You have to have an achievable goal because if you struggling, the more you struggle, the less motivated you're going to be. But when you set small achievable goals, it will help you struggle a little bit less, which will kind of give you that sense of achieving. Also, when you set your goal, you have a sense of direction. So you'll know, oh wow, here's where I'm going. I have a sense of where I'm going, where I might end up. And this is good for you and it will help you stay motivated. Another thing that you want to do is, here's a small trick when it comes to motivation. Do a little hack, right? A little hack for motivation is if you can find a way to connect your dopamine to the activity you need to do to achieve the goal, then you'll find it easier to stay motivated. So if you connect dopamine to what you're doing, it's easier to stay motivated. But what is dopamine anyway? Dopamine is the neurotransmitter, right? It's like the happy hormone that gets released when you achieve something. But actually, studies show that dopamine actually gets released more when you're anticipating something than when you actually get the thing. So it actually happens more in the process of getting the thing than it does when you get the thing. So if you can find a way to connect your process with dopamine, and that is in how you do that process, then you find it easier to show up again and again and again, because that's the role of dopamine, is to give you that reward so that you can come back and do it again. And when you're building a habit, which we've talked about consistency is all about habit building. When you're building a habit, the more that habit is connected to dopamine, the easier it is to keep it going. That's how addiction works. It's pretty much you do this, your dopamine spikes, and then your brain wants more of that, and it makes you do it again. Same thing with having a sweet tooth. I'm sure you sweet tooth demons out there know what I'm talking about. Because when you eat sweets, that energy you feel, like sugar, a sugar high is just a dopamine spike. A sugar high is just a dopamine spike. So when you eat something sweet and you suddenly awake, you're suddenly more alert, you do all that, that's just your dopamine spiking. Right? It's not that sugar gives you that energy and all that. It just spikes your dopamine. You feel great. And then, of course, your bloodstream, there's a lot of science around this, has to bring that sugar down, and then you crash again. That's why you also have sugar crashes, right? But the whole idea here is to show you that the reason why we have sweet tooth sometimes is because the sweet is associated to a dopamine spike. Therefore, your body keeps craving. Your brain keeps telling you, oh, go get some more sweet. I want some of that dopamine hit. Now, and if you understand this part about your brain, then what you can do is do the same thing with your fitness, where you are associating dopamine with what you're doing. This is why it's so important that when in the process of building habit, you celebrate the small wins, because that celebration is what's going to associate that with dopamine. So when you hear me say celebrate small wins, yes, that's what happens. Because, oh, I showed up today, I feel good about myself. Oh, I want to feel good about myself tomorrow, so I'm going to show up again. And that is all dopamine. So we're talking about how to stay motivated and how to keep up this thing. So on your New Year's resolution next year, just make sure that you associate dopamine to the activity that you want to achieve. Find a way to celebrate it. Find a way to make it more fun. Find a way to create, to gamify it. And the more you can do that, the more you'll be able to stay consistent. And then on the days when you don't feel like showing up, discipline comes in and kicks you in the butt, and then you show up. That is the reason why a lot of these apps, Duolingo, your Apple Watch, a lot of these have the streak. Close your rings. They gamify. They make it like a game, so that you can start building a habit. Because you're like, oh, I haven't closed my ring. I have like a week streak. I don't want to break my streak. I gotta do this. Because when you keeping that streak, seeing that number makes you feel good, and hence builds up that habit, and you start stacking up those days. So once again, let's recap here. It is hard to stay motivated, and you can not only rely on motivation, otherwise you'll fall off. You need to combine motivation and discipline. And when you combine motivation and discipline, you'll be able to go the distance. And to stay motivated longer, you wanna find a way to associate the task with dopamine. You want to find a way to have that task release dopamine. And one of the ways to do that is to reward yourself by celebrating small wins, by giving yourself that reward system. If you've had a pet, you know how you train your pet, right? Hey, sit, you give a treat, dopamine spike. So it happens in all of us. And I want you to use some of these tricks, some of these hacks to help you get to your goals. Thanks again for watching. And you think this video is helpful, let me know how it works out for you. Let me know what tricks are you giving yourself to allow you to build that habit and not break it and stay motivated. Or if you think there's somebody out there who's struggling with staying motivated, send them this video, share the video with them, and tell them about dopamine. Maybe I'll touch more in depth about dopamine and how it works in a future video. But until then, share this video, like, subscribe for more videos like this, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Peace.